And obviously you have them because you're still here, you know?
We hope we will be here for a while longer.
Well, listen, let's face it. I mean, as long as you keep serving, you know, the veal franchise is my favorite, you know, let's face it. But now let's, so now we're moving forward. It's 2009. Convention season just opened up. We're actually filming this on January 30th, 2009.
We just finished with the Pool and Spa Convention. That starts our year, and the League of Municipalities basically ends it. There's, I think, the Board of Realtors and a sign show after them, but we start with the biggest and then with the biggest.
And how's the convention season? How's this? Because you're a guy that measures. I know you do.
We depend on it. I mean, that's a big part of our business. You know, naturally, summer's summer. It's going to carry itself.
And recognize the fact that some conventions come in for a couple of years and they go someplace else and come back. Generally speaking, right. It's been pretty good.
It's been okay.
Been okay.
Last year was definitely down. They didn't have as many bookings as they've had in the past. I don't know what's going to happen this year with the economy the way it is. I just talking to the guys from the Pool and Spa Convention. They had, I believe, one of the guys said there was 120 less booths this year. We were busy the first couple of days, but the last day, I could definitely see it falling off. And speaking to a couple of guys, they said what is going on this year is they've noticed themselves is that they didn't bring 4 and 5 people with them to the convention. They came with the people who have to do the actual buying and selling. And they cut out the expenses. And they came right out and told me, you know, we can't afford to go to the real fancy, expensive restaurants. I had people here 3 nights in a row. I mean, big parties at 10 and 12, 15, 3 nights in a row where you would see them twice.
But you know what, Alan? That's a little bit of a misnomer because the reality is this restaurant, Angelonis, too, and I'm not saying this because I'm sitting here right from you, is as nice and better as any one of the restaurants at the casino in terms of quality of product and the atmosphere and the service. So some people think because it's in a casino they're getting, you know, blah, 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 but they don't realize. But anyway, I'm sorry. I had to throw that in there.
You just brought up a point. That's a real hard thing for us locals to overcome, too. You know, when someone comes into town, you know, and they're familiar with P.F. Chang's. Okay, P.F. Chang's are all over the place.
Sure.
You know, they're familiar with certain name restaurants, you know, Wolfgang Puck's or Bobby Flay's, which are in the casinos. But they're also all over the place. Now, these are they're celebrity-themed restaurants, okay? Come on, let's face it. Wolfgang Puck is not there cooking 7 nights a week. Okay, he might be here 2, 3, 4 times a year. I don't really know.
He sets the menu, sets the ingredients.
People that come into town, from out of town, that don't know Angelonis, don't know Angelo's, don't know Doc's Oyster House. They're in a casino, or they're on the boardwalk. Well, I know P.F. Chang, so we'll go there because they feel safe. They know, you know, or like there's no Olive Garden yet, but
right.
You know, everyone's familiar with Olive Garden. It's just some guy from
so they have that name recognition.
The guy from Nebraska,
however,
doesn't know Angelonis, but he knows Olive Garden. So,
but if they said to the cab driver, "Where's a good Italian restaurant?" They're going to say, "You want to go to Angelonis, or you want to go to."
That's where we get a lot of our business. Is word of mouth from the casino employees, you know, dealers, concierge that do send us work all the time.
Yeah.
But to compete against a name, you know, a big Lone Star Steakhouse,
it's hard, man.
You know, that's one of the restaurants that's over at the pier.
Yeah.
You know, people know what it is. They're familiar with that name. So, well, we'll just go here for lunch instead of walking 2 blocks down to me or Angelo's. You know, for a real restaurant.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that
Lone Star isn't, but it's a real restaurant.
Right, it's an Italian restaurant.
It's not a facade, man. It's a real people here. They're making phenomenal food. Hey, listen, thanks for checking in there on the viewers. You're watching ACTV24.com. I'm Dan Klein. This is Time Out with Dan Klein. One of our features here is part of our community mission statement is to talk with area people, area business owners in Atlantic City, the areas that we service. Atlantic City being one of them, and tonight we have the pleasure of talking with Alan Angelonis, the owner and proprietor of Angelonis 2 in Atlantic City, Arctic and Georgia Avenue, been here since 1981. And Alan, you know, a lot of people don't know a couple of things. First of all, if you're coming from out of town and you're like at your hotel or something like that, people can, people can have takeout here. I know that may sound like
We don't deliver, but we have
you don't
takeout.
deliver, but people can, like, they can
Oh,
call
yeah.
up if they're in a hotel and they can't get over to have dinner. They can also call in for takeout. And of course, you do the private parties, the weddings, and all that kind of stuff. Now, you talked about doing additions. Has the seating changed? What is it? 175? 175?
No. We're about right around 150.
150? And because I know we had a couple of events here. In fact, I hate to say it, but I was here, unfortunately, sometimes, the only time you get to see people is at a funeral.
I know.
I was here for a funeral, and I got to tell you something. Instead of everybody talking about who had passed away, they were talking about the food and how great it was, man. I'm not kidding you, Because you guys do a great job, whether it's somebody's coming in for dinner or they're coming in for a
Thank
special
you. Yeah,
event.
well, we do quite a few of them. It's a shame we have to do funerals, but
Now, do you get a lot of people saying that things are, Atlantic City's because of the Borgata opening in 2003, you got Revel that's building, they're saying that, Tropicana has the quarter, all this hip image with younger people coming into Atlantic City. You see a lot of them with bachelor parties, bachelorette parties, stuff like that.
Yeah, well, naturally on the weekend, we have get quite a few of them, and especially during the summer.
Right.
You get parties in 10s and 12s, and before